Coffee out day.
Guys in the Gulf.
What do you reckon? All good?
Yep.
Oh, well, back in Darwin.
Home sweet home. Well, for me anyway.
We made it.
Yeah.
Only just.
Yeah.
30 hours of copping a hiding.
Yeah.
Yeah, that last day was a 15-day trip, and I reckon day 14, 15, we were still only 2/3 of the way here. And then, so when we start on day 14, when we started the motors, that we did not stop until we got to Darwin. So, it was big, big travels.
That last push, it takes a bit of effort, but she's worth it. We're here.
Yeah, no, it was all good fun.
Yeah, when we left Wyndham, obviously it was a few hours getting back out the river, out the channel, but when we got out the front there, it was an absolute glass off. It was just perfect. We're kicking back. Shawnee's running up and down, grabbing us a couple of beers. And
yeah, that's right.
We're really getting amongst it and sort of go to bed that night, maybe, well, you and me anyway, maybe 10, 11 o'clock or something, and wake up like 1 o'clock in the morning and, all hell's broken loose.
Yeah.
One squall after another, just bloody, absolutely.
Yeah. Swannie holding on with two hands.
I was knackered too, because I'd been drinking a couple of beers with you in the Arvo, and then come the graveyard shift, and 3 till 4 in the morning.
I did notice a few little power naps there, mate.
Yeah. I fell off the helm and hit me throat on the steering wheel. Tired as
It was pretty rugged there for a bit, mate. Them squalls of 30, 40 knots of wind and bloody thunder and lightning and all the rest of it. But it was all good.
Yeah.
Because we did plan on actually going like 80 or 90 nautical miles from off Dundee and pulling up and having a bit of a fish on the way back through. But about 4 o'clock in the morning, I think I noticed we changed course a bit.
that for a joke. Let's just go to Darwin.
Direct to, which lucky because we still didn't get here until, I don't know, maybe 6 o'clock or 5:30, 6 o'clock, something in the afternoon.
Pretty late. Got greeted by a nice storm coming in too.
Yeah.
I was enough to clean the boat though anyway.
Can save me doing it.
So what's your position like? What is your position on this boat? What do you call yourself?
I just call myself a decky.
Decky, yeah. But as someone like we weren't customers, but as someone on the boat, I see you more as like a co-captain almost. Because you're driving the boat as much as taking shifts and
do everything. We don't have stewies on here either, so roll the swags. Make the beds.
Yeah. Yeah, awesome.
Stack the beers.
Yeah.
Got to keep them cold, mate.
We got you trained up by the end, didn't we, Ash?
Freezer was stocked every morning, mate. Cold beers.
You get angry punters if you don't have that freezer stocked, mate. I'll tell you what makes their trip when you do, you go on a walk somewhere, going for a swim, whether it be, the tank at Silver Gull or waterfall somewhere, like taking you boys to Ruby Falls. Yeah.
It's still my favourite part of the trip. Like, it's not the most picturesque, it's not the most amazing, but my favourite memory of the trip was sitting in the big pond up there at Ruby Falls, because you carried the esky all the way up there.
That's it. You sneak an esky full of coldies in for them, and makes the day.
Yeah, it was awesome. Definitely,
So that was about the last time you boys were talking about the trip, was it? When we were at Ruby Falls. That was your yarn with Azza.
We had the podcast with Azza, the owner and skipper of the boat. Yeah. So the whole second half of second 2/3 of the trip we haven't covered yet.
Couple of adventures since then.
Yeah.
Bloody heaps. Bloody hell. Well, what do we do? That was Ruby Falls. That was that night we did the podcast, I reckon.
Yeah.
The next day, where did we go the next day from there?
Monty's, was it?
Monty's.
Yeah, we went out Montgomery Reef.
Yeah, which was by far the most...
On a cracking tide too. We got out there on a big low, like one of the biggest lows of the year. So she was empty and pumping. Like the water coming off that reef it's hectic, and tiny little channel and tiny little dinghy fanging up it.
Literally getting goosebumps in my head just thinking about my drone footage from that.
You were stressing about the drone.
I was, but the footage is so good, so worthwhile.
Is it the largest drying reef in the world or something like that?
I think it's one of the largest inshore reefs in the world. So it's about 400 square kilometres of reef, which is a good chunk of reef.
Yeah, it's unbelievable watching the as the tide's running out. It almost looks like the ground is sort of rising up from the water rather than the tide running out. It's just unbelievable watching the water run off them flats. Is just crazy with all the little channels with the water pumping in, just white water, and then when it sort of slowed down and stopped, we pulled up at the top there and the water's just crystal clear, and you can see this big mangrove jacks and coral trout and everything everywhere. Like that was just
big blue bone cruising through, a couple of sharks.
Not anymore.
Yeah, fix that up quick. Yeah, I don't know if you guys saw it as we were coming in. A big Spanish mackerel went airborne in front of the dinghy.
Yeah, I didn't see it. I was in the tender with you, and I remember you said you were like, "Oh, did you see that?" And I'm like, "No, I missed it."
Yeah, she's a special place. I do like Montgomery Reef.
Yeah.
Even pulling up on the sand cave for a swim.
Yeah, yeah,
You
yeah.
know, just you could spend a day there. It just perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Perfect way to entertain the punters for a day. She's special.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy that like the tidal difference is just like it's still like I'm still struggling getting my head around the difference in the water level from low tide to high tide, because we pulled up at that sand cay in the morning, had a bit of a dip there, and it was 2.5 meters. You couldn't see over it from the boat. You couldn't see over it and see the other side. And then a couple of hours later, it was completely underwater.
They were floating up on it.
we were driving straight over
It
the
moves quick, eh?
Yeah, it's not just the amount of water; it's also how quickly it happens.
I've left a couple of passengers out on that sand cay, and
Yeah.
I'll sort of tell them, like, go and pick the last bit of sand you think's going to go under, and we're there sort of towards the end, and fucking see you just stand there, fucking your ankles are covered, then their knees are covered, then I piss off in the dinghy, then they start stressing.
One tide charters. Yeah, no, that's awesome. I'll tell you what, the one moment that happened where I was the most impressed with the tide was when we went up to explore a spot that I don't think you guys had been before, up at that cathedral.
Yeah, I'd never made it up to Cathedral Falls.
Which is only 2 seconds up from King's Cascade.
Yeah, that's right. So you just got to follow the tide up to get up there and access it. But yeah. We went up and bumped our way in. So went up with the water as the tide was changing, and best way to do it. You learn where all the rocks are.
Yeah.
You know, there's a big bundy out in front of it, the gatekeeper there. You know, you wouldn't want to come through and not know it's there. You take the leg off your boat.
Yeah, so for context, folks, when we got to this little tiny creek, it was completely dry. And they're like, oh, it's up here. We've got to go up there. I'm like, well, obviously we're not doing that today. And then Swannie says, oh, send the drone up. And so I send the drone up. I go all the way up. And I'm like, oh, look, guys, it does look amazing up there. There is a bit of water falling at the waterfall. But it's completely dry there. We're not getting up there. No way in the world. And I come back and we're just sitting there. He goes, oh, well, let's give it 5 minutes, eh? And then suddenly the water's just pouring in. And then we get down to this spot, and I reckon a log across the creek is maybe a metre out of the above, like, so it's above the top of the boat. And we're stopped there. And I'm like, oh, we're not going to see this today. We're not going to get there. And we just sit there 15 minutes. You can literally watch a stick and watch the water rise. Absolutely incredible. And yeah, that's the most impressive I've ever seen with the tide. That was the biggest example of it, I reckon.
Well, yeah, we bumped our way in, but it was several times, like as are in one tinny up the front with an oar slowly pushed off the rocks.
Gondola service. Oh, sole mio. Oh, you're the Italian one.
Adam doing the same.
Just another service I provide, mate.
Bouncing off the rocks, pushing
My
our way in
Venetian
there.
gondola service.
But like we pulled up that log across the rock completely across the creek, and it was a metre above the water. Same thing. We pulled up there 5 minutes, had one tin. By the time we had a beer, it was literally just floated straight across the top. It's just unbelievable watching that water come in so fast, and and we're only there maybe 10 minutes, if that. And then turned around and started coming out. When we came out, we were on the plane the whole way. It was like 4 meters or 5 meters of water higher than.
Yeah. I was holding on for dear life as he went straight on the plane. I'm like, oh, did you see the rocks when we came in? Like, but no, we did not hit a single thing. I'm like, that's just, I don't, it's
what did we do then? We went to the King's Cascades, eh?
Yeah, which was a bit of a climb up there. But once we're up there, there's this beautiful big pools there. I think I got the drone up there as well. Yeah,
went for a swim across the Billabong.
You went way up the top.
Yeah,
you and Swannie.
I hiked Swannie and his sister there up to the little waterfall at the top. Beautiful.
Yeah, I think I got a shot just before you get there. I've got a shot of you waving at the camera just before you arrived there, and I turned around and come back because I didn't realise. If I just went a little bit further, I would have got a shot of the next spot.
I should have been communicating to the drone, throwing up gang signs.
Yeah, that's a beautiful spot up there. I mean, it is a little bit of a climb to get up into the actual where the water hole is, where you can swim. But yeah, that's just unreal.
Yeah,
and the what was I thinking about there? The water was funny because like the very top of the water is really like warm.
That's right. Yeah.
But then if you sort of kick some water up with your feet, you could actually, it was actually really cold underneath.
Really cold
Yeah.
underneath.
It's unbelievable. Yeah.
With the water coming down off the falls there, like there was in my mind, plenty of water coming over because we're in November?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, we were there in late October. But if we were there in June, would it have looked the same or would there be a lot more water coming down?
A lot more.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
Everything to me,
Look, and it depends on the wet season.
Yeah, of
like
course.
you get a
Yep.
big wet and she absolutely
Yeah.
pumps. But
as well, like we've never seen it before, so everything looked amazing to us. Like any place we went to,
spectacular regardless.
yeah, exactly. But I can imagine if the waterfalls have more water coming, all of them would have just been that more.
It makes it so easy. You can put the nose of Explorer under there,
Yeah.
get all the passengers out on the front for a shower
Yeah.
and a swim, and fill the buckets up with water, make
Yeah.
our own swimming pool on the front.
Yeah, I've got footage of that too. You and Swannie there kicking back, a couple of
I
beers.
thought he'd enjoy that. I was just trying to say all you need is an idea and a can-do attitude, Shawnee.
Oh, that was good. That was a great afternoon, that one. And then, coming back because
That's right,
we
yeah.
just missed a storm, but it was like a little bit overcast, cooled right down. So we were sitting on the bow of the boat having
Yeah.
beers, bloody
Yeah.
legs hanging over the front, bloody
Yeah,
cruising down. What's that river? The
Prince Regent.
Prince Regent, cruising down there for a few hours, just getting rid of some cans.
yeah.
By the time the tide flushed us out of there and we were in the basin, like we just got the most spectacular sunset that
That's right.
afternoon. It was an absolute ripper.
Yeah, it was unreal.
And we stayed in Munster Waters. We were going to go into Rothsay. There's some nice art sites in there and
Yeah.
stuff, but Munster Waters was a better choice because we're going to do some fishing the next morning, chase some finger mark.
Oh, yeah, okay, now I remember that. I can't remember Munster Waters, but I remember the Goldie spot the next morning. Holy crap.
Before we go into that, that waterfall there, that's, you were telling us when we were there, that's where that, what's the name got eaten?
Oh, Ginger Meadows.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, what is it, American Supermodel or something?
She was a model, I believe, over here for the America's Cup, and she was swimming there with her girlfriend or whatnot, and Croc grabbed her, and you don't get too many chances with them.
No.
That-
And
That's
I've sat at the top of those falls there and watched the tide go completely out, and it pretty much empties. Just end up with like a little muddy bowl.
What's at the bottom of King's Cascade there?
Yeah.
right,
She empties right out
Yeah.
on a decent tide, and then the mud geckos in there are huge.
Yeah.
Like, and it's pretty cool to just sit up on the top of the waterfall and watch them slither around.
Yeah, wow.
I wouldn't be swimming there.
No,
I've seen a couple of videos of a couple other YouTubers and that going up there, and they're all having fun and walking around. I wouldn't be walking near that.
Yeah, no, bugger that. Yeah, so obviously, we swam there, but we climbed right up the top, above the waterfall, and then up into the bloody waterhole on the top.
Be a pretty athletic croc to get up there.
Yeah.
Yeah, the buffaloes only just made it.
We did a lot of climbing. These two buffaloes. No, it was good fun. Yeah, it's usually a payoff for like you're not going to just go climb a cliff for fun. Like, by the time you get up the top, there's a water hole.
Well,
to
I'm
swim
not
in.
going to, no.
No, definitely not.
And no one admires the view from the bottom, mate.
Yeah.
Nah, that's it.
What was that one? It's like sounds like glaucoma.
Glycosmus Bay.
That one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the one that you and me and Azza sat on the rock up there, just looking over. Yeah, so you guys all went and explored the
There's
the
nice
rock
art site up
art
there.
sites and
There's-
that. Yeah. Is it called the Lost City up there? Is that the one?
Yeah, I believe it's called the Lost City.
Yeah, and we just sat there, just overlooking the bay, and that it was just beautiful. Beautiful breeze coming in, and so that big climb.
You
up
got
there.
the breeze. Fuck, she was hot walking through them rocks. I was
I can
dying.
imagine.
I was there for the limit of me water bottle. That was it.
Yeah,
There's some pretty nice art in there from all the different periods.
Yeah,
lot of there's one Wandjina in there. It looks pretty new, but a lot of it's
okay.
the old stuff.
yeah,
Very cool.
So you seem to know a lot about the Kimberley and the cultural stuff and the even the geography of the area and all that. You've obviously been doing this a while.
Good couple of years now.
Yeah.
I'd done my dues under Greg, the previous captain.
So you've been on this boat since before Azza bought the company.
Yeah, which is it's nice. Aaron came on, we got on like a house on fire.
Yeah.
I'm just happy to stay around and help him build and keep the thing going.
Yeah.
It's perfect for me. I love it.
Yeah, I can see you two complement each other really well.
Thanks.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I mean, did me dues with Greg. He was tough to work for, but it's just so much knowledge and soak it all in as much as you can.
So you've done dozens of trips on this boat through the Kimberleys, would you say?
Yeah. Multiple dozens.
Yeah. So you've taken hundreds of customers.
Yeah. I think we've 80 customers a year or something.
Yep.
Roughly.
Yeah, cool.
So, and usually ask them when they get on the boat, what are you here for? What do you want to do? What do you want to achieve? And, for some it's catching that big fish. For others it's, seeing rock art.
Yeah.
And try and make it happen for them.
Yeah, awesome.
Everyone's got their big ticket item.
Yeah.
There's a hell of a lot of places to tick them off in the Kimberley.
Yeah, well, percentage-wise, you've probably only seen, 10% of the place, between the thousands of islands.
If there's just so much to see. Like I said to you, we could do another 15-night trip and I'll take you to a different place every day. We won't go back to the same places. And do all sorts of things.
Yeah, far out.
Yeah, the sheer scale of it is just,
hard to comprehend, isn't it?
Yeah, it's just crazy. I mean, I thought we had a big area at home we play around with, but there it's just every day is just, because we were motoring a fair bit and covering some ground, and just every time you turn around is just another bit of just amazing scenery. It all sort of blends into one, but yeah, like the whole way pretty much until we left Wyndham was just something different, a different gorge, different different mountain range, different islands, just
the sandstone's spectacular, mate. It lights up with the sun, the Wharton sandstone, the Leopold sandstones.
Yeah,
spectacular.
Well, even the sandstone, even that changes between the size and scale of it. And
absolutely.
Sometimes, I don't even know where we were at certain places, but like these massive boulders, like they're the size of buildings, not houses, but buildings like that have obviously, whether it was 1,000 years ago or whatever, they've fallen off the cliff and just sitting there perched on its side like they're...
Some of them are perfectly square, look like big dice have rolled off the cliff.
Yeah.
Spend enough time looking at the rocks and at sea you see things in them.
Yeah.
Start making up different shapes, characters.
Sometimes see like garden gnomes and things like that in the rocks. Yeah.
A garden gnome hidden out there somewhere. Let's see if someone finds it.
Yeah. We'll give away a prize if someone tells where it is, eh?
Bloody hell. Yeah, well, after we left what was it? The Prince Regent, was it?
Yeah.
Then we went then we stayed at, what do you call it, Munster Waters? Or?
Yeah, Munster Waters, and we made our way around Cape Brewster towards Greening Bay. So we had a fish on our way past there.
Yeah, the Goldie spot.
Yeah, Goldie spot there.
Yeah. Has that spot ever failed? That's unbelievable.
Nah.
So, like, you were jigging off the back. I was
long as you get the boat on the spot.
Yeah.
Or if not, jump in the dinghies, look around.
Yeah.
You'll find them schooled up somewhere.
Yeah. Because I was just the little door that opens off the side. I was just handlining straight off the side. I think I dropped 4 baits and got 4 big goldies, like good, nothing small, like no monsters, but very good goldies, good eating size.
So depending
like
on the tide, some
minutes,
spots fly better than others.
Yeah.
But and some spots hold bigger fish than others. I mean, goldies move around a bit.
Yeah.
So sometimes you'll be, pulling them in there, they're 350. Other times you're pulling them in there 750.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, well, that was an unreal session that morning. Like, everyone was getting a fish, so that was heaps good.
I tried to get a aerial shot from up on top of just with the GoPro on top of the top deck there, looking down to try and get everyone standing along the back there fishing. So hopefully I haven't looked at it yet, but hopefully there's a good time lapse there of people reeling in fish.
Yeah, I was getting them on because you were using the hand line with squid. I was using them. The boys sent us up some of them Jabbers Moxie Sparkles, and some assist hooks. So I was trying to use them, and I got a few fish on them, but bloody the little school mackerel were just absolutely everywhere. Eh?
Hammering them. They just kept biting you off.
Yeah, just going straight where the FG knot's tied. They're just biting straight through it. Like you don't even feel it. They're just that quick and that sharp.
So there must be some little bubbles or something that form on it as they go, because they'll just bite anything that has bubbles on it or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, I reckon.
And it's an expensive way of doing it if you're going to lose lures like that. Yeah. Yeah,
well, that's why I changed up and put bloody bit of wire on and that. But they bloody definitely work good. Even when we're at the reef there, and like first drop, mate, straight up coral trout, bang. What else we get there? Heap of flag, heap of bloody heap of cod, mangrove jack, bloody just about everything, mate. Just every time you drop them down, because it's just unbelievable. You in that channel there, like you go from, and it's the same as the first night where we did a bit of fishing in the tinnies, and we had the hand lines. You're up against the rocks, and you can literally see the bottom, and then you go right beside it, and it's like 18 meters deep or something. It's just
so it's like it's almost a vertical drop. Well, just like the cliffs next to it, I suppose.
Yeah.
It sort of comes down, then
Quite often, what you see above the water is replicated below the water.
Yeah.
You know, it's just as dramatic.
Yeah. Yeah, well, definitely in some of them places there, mate. It's, again, hard to get my head around how we can be in 20, 30, 40 metres of water, and then literally there's a rock that's right there beside it. You know, it's just because at home it's 10 metres of water is about as deep as it gets unless you get right out past the islands. 10 metres of water, 30 foot of water. That's about it, and she's pretty well dead flat the whole way. So to see it undulate so much, down as we cruise along, I'm watching the sounder down here, and looking at the depths, I'm just like, holy crap. Yeah, you'd want to know where you're going. Wouldn't be the easiest place to navigate through.
No, well, yeah, a lot of it's unsurveyed.
Yeah.
So, and then just a lot of purling leases and, like you said, bundies everywhere, big tidal movement, It can be tough.
yeah.
But fun.
How did you end up here?
Oh, Christ.
Was he from? Tell us where you're from Queensland.
Yeah,
eh?
from Queensland, North Queensland, around Hinchinbrook Island, Ingham Way. Yeah, grew up on a cane farm there.
Yep.
I first came over to MC a friend's wedding.
Yeah, we're already.
And loved the place.
It was your first time here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
didn't want to leave. This is cool.
You just fell in love with the place. And,
Yeah. So now working East Coast to West Coast.
Yep.
Sort of split my time, 6 months in each. Comes with its sacrifices.
Yep.
Yeah. But
So you'll spend the wet season back in Queensland.
pretty much.
Typically.
I had some good mates over there that I'll go and work for. Whether it's swinging diggers or hammers.
Yep. Yeah. Then you come here and live the dream.
Yeah, that's right. Get out of there and come over here for the dry season. Beautiful weather. Sleep in a swag for 6 months of the year.
Yep.
Hiking, camping, fishing. What more could you want to do? Hey?
Yeah,
If someone had told me I could have got paid for it when I was 16, fuck, going to university.
We haven't even touched on it. Probably the name of this podcast is going to be Mullet of the West.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we've got a mate, the Mad Mullet, that he's also from Queensland, like North Queensland, but
I didn't realise he was from North Queensland. I know you boys always talk about
I reckon
him.
Mackay, around that area
right,
he's from. Yeah. But he's a crabber, just like Ash, and lives at King Ash Bay, and he's a bit of just a wild unit, energetic, always keen to get out and do something, and like after 3 hours after meeting you, Ash and I looked at each other. He's just like Mullet, isn't he? Yeah. So we've got Mullet of the East and Mullet of the West, which is you, and
Twins separated at birth.
Yeah, well, I would love.
I was wondering what the
love
scar was.
Yeah, it'll probably bring like an end to the universe. But like, if we ended up getting you at King Ash Bay one time and get you together, and if I could get you both in a video, I want to call it East meets West, and it'll just be wild.
Classic.
Yeah.
Looking forward to it. Well, I think I was telling you boys we were meant to go to King Ash Bay for me mate's Bucks party years ago, and that never eventuated. COVID buggered that plan up. Who knows? Could have met you boys years ago.
Yeah.
We had the houseboats hired out for 2 weeks or something.
Oh man,
Bloody hell.
I have to do a reenactment.
Yeah.
Get him. They got married in the end. The Bucks party.
Yeah.
They still together.
That all went ahead. I think I emceed that wedding too.
Oh, right, yeah. There you go, professional MC as well.
It's like talking shit.
Yeah. Same.
No, it was good, mate. Like, obviously, we'd never met you before. I'd never met Azza before either. Obviously, Mikey knew Azza and Ange and the kids and that from being in Darwin. But yeah, we pretty much, you picked us up from the airport, took us straight to the Rowie, the pub across the road. And straight away, I was like, oh, this is going to be a good 2 weeks. Straight into the schooners, mate. Bloody getting amongst it. Pointing out some of the local sites in Brew from the pub.
Yeah.
Oh, bloody hell. That was classic.
Yeah.
So, you were saying, because when we were cruising along too, Mikey was whinging about me snoring. And
Well, so
you were saying that you used to do bloody sleep study stuff as well.
Yeah, I had a sleep apnea clinic for years there. Mate of mine just got involved in it. Yeah, helping fellas out.
Bloody hell.
Saving marriages.
Saving marriages.
yeah.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some of you fellas can snore. Jesus Christ.
Oh, look, some people are more proficient at it than others.
The lumberjack here.
Oh man.
He wasn't swinging an axe. It was a chainsaw.
Yeah, I dealt with it after about 5 nights, I reckon. I learnt to deal with it, somehow. But, yeah.
All right, well, where did we go after that, boys? We took off on the inside of Biggie Island up to Mudge Bay, eh?
Yeah, Biggie Island. So that was after we got around there. That's where we got to that bloody settlement place, was it? Was it?
Oh, no, that was through Cunmunya. We went to Camden Harbour, the old settlement there.
Yeah.
The old site of Australia's biggest land fraud.
Yeah, which I've
whole bunch
never
of-
heard of.
Yeah, I don't know if many people have.
Yeah.
But, so they tried to settle Camden Harbour back in the 1800s. Took a bunch of punters up there from Melbourne, I believe it was.
So they bought land
Yeah.
and they got sold a dream of,
They
this is
got
gonna be-
sold a dream. I think it was surveyed during the wet season when it looked pretty promising.
Yep.
Not nice and wet and green and grass everywhere. And they got up there, sailed up there in 3 ships, and yeah, she wasn't all that promising. The local indigenous didn't really want them there, so they were spearing the sheep and the people, and it was all basalt rock. They couldn't dig in the ground, build anything. It was hot as, no water. They couldn't get water from anywhere. The sheep were perishing. The horses were perishing. Everyone was perishing.
Yeah.
And they lost the boats. They all lost on arrival, didn't they?
One of them struck ground on the way in. I think it later sank or they salvaged it, whatever.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Of all the places that you could pick to settle on that trip, every spot we stopped at was a perfect place to go and
Yeah, a nice sandy beach and a...
Yeah.
But this is...
They got a bum steer.
This is rugged. Proper. We went out and had a walk around there, and you can still see the old remnants of little buildings that they've made out of rock and stuff like that. But it was.
Hey, they've got the graves over on Sheep Island.
Yeah.
I don't think they could dig the ground where the settlement was, so they had to row their boats over to Sheep Island where they could actually dig the ground.
So there's literally still graves there now, which we saw, which is wow. Just
bit of Australian history.
which like most people would have never heard of, including us. Yeah. More history. Maybe the next day, the DC3, or the next day
a couple of days after that. It all blends into one after a while, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So that was a bit further on. That was once we'd been and looked at a whole bunch of rock art around Mudge there. Gone up a few creeks for a swim and a wander and a look. Nice big middens, and we're going up the creek in the dinghy, and you can see some kangaroos on the rocks.
Oh yeah,
painted.
that was cool. Yeah, literally from the river you could actually see some of the rock art. That was really cool.
And then round into Vansittart Bay. You boys wanted to see the DC3 wreck there.
Yep.
So went for a bit of hike in, chased some scrubbers on the way in.
That's right.
I kept saying to Mike, I said, it's Mullet. It's Mullet.
Rib
Mullet's got a brother he doesn't even know about.
rib bones for dinner.
Yeah.
Ribbo, no, I would have just taken the backstrap out, brother. Manager's cut only.
So, but obviously we were there, but for people at home, we park the big boat, anchor it up, jump in the tinnies, go across to the beach, and then you've got to climb over a bit of a sand dune, and then you walk across the salt flat for 200-300 metres, and then it's in the bush a little bit is the DC3 that crash landed there in 1942 or something.
Yeah.
But walking across the flat, we're looking at all these cattle footprints and stuff like that. So there must be a few killers around here somewhere. Next thing, Adam's just full noise running across the salt flat through the trees. And there's all these killers there. Get up out of the bush and start running these.
What was the plan? To go and headlock one or?
I was going to grab a small one and drag it down by the tail. That's
The
the
tail.
deal.
Okay.
We're going to have some beef for dinner. But, bloody hell. They're a little bit too quick for you, mate, through the trees. But
Yeah.
you were close. You were closer than I was. But I remember looking at Mike. He goes, Mullet's got a brother. He doesn't even know about it. Literally.
Would have been nicer to spend more time in Vansittart. That's a beautiful day.
That's a unreal spot, mate. Actually,
Remind me which
plenty
one
to
that
see
was.
and do in there.
where the plane was.
I can't even remember where the boat was, but I can remember that obviously.
Well, we
going in
only
there.
stopped there for whilst we went and for the walk.
Yeah.
And then we only
ended up about halfway down the bay. We didn't go right down the back. There's a heap to see down there. Biggest oysters I've seen in my life.
Yeah.
Huge, bigger than your hand.
Oh, right. Well, we saw some pretty big oysters.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I pulled a nice big one off the rocks there.
Yeah, I got some footage there of you holding one.
Almost 2 biters, the buggers.
Yeah.
Hey?
Yeah, mate. They were dead set the best oysters I've ever eaten. Because you went and collected a heap, and then you got some nice big collected, I don't know, maybe a dozen or so of the really big, nice, like bowl sort of shells. Then washed them out. And
just take all the oysters and put them in a bag.
Yeah.
Then when you're back on the boat and you want to prepare them, put 3 or 4 oysters in the one nice big shell, make up a big Kilpatrick or Asian style with a vinaigrette. Oh,
mate, they were absolutely sensational. Like, definitely one of my favourites.
I don't know if you boys know this, but Azza got a pearl in his.
Yeah, he shows
it's around the boat here somewhere. Oh, fuck it, I'll put it down somewhere. I don't know where it's gone.
It's not a shiny, pretty one.
It ain't worth fuck all.
But
that's the second time I've seen that happen.
Yeah. Oh, is that all?
So,
okay.
Getting a natural pearl
huge.
out of there.
They are huge bloody oysters. Like, they're the biggest oysters I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Like, they're 5-6 times bigger than a restaurant one at least. Like, they're monsters. But yeah, that Vansittart Bay, that was beautiful. That's where we were on the beach there, waiting for Az to come pick us up in the tinny, and we were there looking at the bonefish.
Oh,
The
yeah.
first
Now I've got
time.
I've got all. Yeah.
Like really nice white sandy beach and with shallow reef just out the front of it.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, you, me, and Ange just sitting there and literally looking at the bonefish cruise past.
Yeah.
Going, wow, that'd be a market in that for sure, mate.
Fly fisherman's dream. Hey?
Oh, yeah.
I think I was telling you boys. I saw we were out at Ashmore Reef earlier this year with CSIRO, doing a bit of work out there, and the bonefish out there. We were 400 mils of water, crystal clear, right up on the sand. They were huge, absolutely huge. Getting around in schools together, to sight cast for them off a flats boat would just be unreal.
Yeah, was there like a small mouthfish, aren't they? Like
they're like a big oversized whiting sort of thing.
Yeah,
like
Yeah, they're
So
a challenge to catch.
So if you're a fish from, you use small baits when or small.
Well, they got quite armoured mouths. I think they're quite hard to hook, and they put up a good fight. So one of those trophy fish for your fly fishermen there.
Yeah, they're like for fly fishermen they're like permit or rooster fish or something like that. They're a bucket list fish for serious fly fishermen.
Yep.
Yeah, goes to the flats they call them.
Yeah,
goes to the flats.
Well, because they're near impossible to see because they blend in so well with a nice sandy
white sand.
Even
They're
in the
almost
crystal
like
clear water.
translucent almost when you look at them in the water. Yeah.
Yeah, and we saw them a couple of times because we saw them there and we saw them at Vansittart Bay as well.
Yeah.
That was Vansittart Bay, wasn't it? Like Cosmos Bay, was it?
Yep.
Yeah, at the bottom of the cliff.
When you guys were over on the beach or whatever.
Yeah. Where we climbed up the cliff and sat up the top there. And
and we thought we were seeing massive stingrays there as well. But then when I got the drone up and went down and had a look, they're actually massive batfish laying on their sides.
Yeah, right.
Huge big batfish.
Just cruising through constantly,
Mikey loves batfish.
My arch nemesis. I'd rather catch catfish than batfish.
I'll take baddies over caddies.
I used to have a
These
client.
batfish haven't got spikes.
I had a client used to come up here. He used to love them, mate. Like he would absolutely love catching them.
Is that Lamb Bob? Yeah, right.
Love catching them.
Yeah.
What, just for the fun of it?
No, eat them.
And eat them.
Yeah.
Right.
He'd gill and gut them.
Must have gone in a curry, surely.
He'd gill and gut them and then bloody just cook them straight in a fry pan, mate. He reckons they were the best. So
Between that and cod, he used to love. You'd throw back golden snapper. Get me a big cod, Ashley.
Yeah.
I'm with him there. I don't mind a cod.
Yeah. Cod's good.
I had a pet one growing up for a while. I caught him when he was a little fingerling. I raised him to 60, 65 centimetres before I let him go.
Or a fish tank? Or
Fish tank. So I had a saltwater tank set up.
Wow.
Yeah.
Had him on a chain, mate.
I used to take him for walks. But God, I used to go down the river with the cast net every day and catch him bait to eat, all sorts of things. I tried to have him cohabit the tank with flathead, brim, grunner, all these different things. No, he was a savage.
Yeah,
he used to smash him. Yeah. The flathead would try and like bury himself in the sand and hide, and he'd dig him up and rip him apart. A real animal.
Yeah. They are savage, mate. We only have to look at the big gropers and stuff.
Yeah, right. Yeah, of course.
They bloody absolutely destroy anything that comes near them. So, what was I going to say after that? Yeah, so in that Cosmos Bay, because that's down, I went for a cruise with Azza right up into the back of it.
That's right.
Because that's
the falls weren't running.
Yeah,
getting a bit late in the year. Once you get up on that Mitchell Plateau, they dry right off.
I can imagine that would be an amazing spot to pull up there.
Yeah, definitely an underrated waterfall. Everyone knows about King George Falls and the King's Cascade, but that's
because that'd be another one that you'd be able to take this right up under the.
That's right. We
waterfall.
can get Explorer in there, sneak over the sand, and
Yeah. Yeah, and actually, we got off the boat there and went on the beach that afternoon. The Ange made up a heap of nibbly food and stuff like that, and you packed an esky for us, and we went up and had a few beers as the sun set on the beach there. As we went for a walk, got chased by another bull.
He had his daughter there with him, and he pushed her down so that she would run faster than him.
I reckon it wouldn't be hard to outrun him.
That's why I walk with Mikey, because I reckon I can outrun Mikey. That's enough.
Oh man, on a short distance, mate. You won't beat me over 5 meters, I reckon.
Quick off the mark.
Bloody hell.
Depends on the motivation.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that was one of my favourite bays. I reckon that one. That was heaps good. Because heaps of fish in there. Like, we only had 15 days or something on the boat, and every day was something new. But like, you could literally spend a lifetime there and not see it all. Like, it's just like I could spend a month just in that bay.
Yeah.
Oh, mate, I've talked to Greg about it. He did 30 years worth of exploring the Kimberley, and we'd sit down with the charts. He wasn't really a digital fella. It was all analog. It was
paper.
all paper based even. Yeah. So we'd go through the charts, and just so many marks on there, and he'd talk about everywhere that he has explored and where he hasn't, and what's where.
Yeah, well, I think just about every one of them spots we stopped at, we could have easily spent 2 weeks there and then just flown home. Like, it was, even the first full day on the boat when you dropped us off at the beach.
Yeah.
So, and Hazard did some work on the boat, and then Mike and I, righto, you boys, you boys keep going, whatever.
Yeah, I'm happy here.
We'll just kick back.
Yeah.
That was unreal.
Yeah. And that was just it would have been exactly the same as 10,000 other beaches. Like, it was just nothing unique about the spot.
Sport for choice.
Yeah.
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 That's it.
Yeah. I think I even covered it in the last podcast, but I'll say the story again. I just absolutely love it when someone pipes up and says, "Oh, can we swim here?" And it's like, and you're like, "Geronimo!" Like, just jump straight off the top deck into the splash. It's like, okay, apparently we can.
You can swim anywhere, whether you do it more than once.
Yeah.
Beautiful spot for a dip anyway. Yeah, you can get there on a high tide, which because as I needed to do a bit of work to the boat quickly, I can't remember whether it was an RO filter or something. Something was going on.
I think he had to de-stress after we went through the Hell's Gate.
Yeah.
So did I.
Ash's, you didn't say this, Ash's Apple Watch was telling him to sit down and calm down because his heart rate was too high.
Go back and look at the pulse rate spikes in it.
Yeah.
I was completely oblivious. Like, I was just like, oh, yeah, this is cool. But yeah, no, got a bit.
Mate, I've been through there that many times, and it is the one spot where it'll always give you a good hit of adrenaline.
Yeah. That's where we're taking the boat through. Basically between the two islands, and the water is just absolutely pumping through there. Like, it's proper pumping through there.
But it'd be coming through at 9 knots, 8, 9 knots on a good tide. We did it on the incoming tide, and I think we come down to making only one knot, so you're barely making way. You're sitting in it for a while before.
Do you ever go through with the tide?
Yeah.
Yeah. So do you end
just depending on how hard it's running.
Yeah. So you just have to steer it, then just let the tide take it, and you just sort of steer through it, or do you still power through it?
Overpower it if you can. Yeah, it just depends on how hard it's running. There's times when you shouldn't attempt it. There's a couple of boats been lost there.
Yeah. Yeah, you were telling us that. Yeah.
I can see that would happen very easily.
for
the
sure.
story goes, Sparksy and Ray flipped a boat there at night time, and
Bloody hell.
clung to the esky and
So these
got
guys
flushed
that you
out.
know?
Derby fellas.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, wow.
look at that.
Yeah. But they were found and all good.
Yeah. They're both fine.
Yeah, cool.
Boat's not.
Yeah.
And I don't think that's been found.
Yeah, rightio. Wow.
Oh, mate, well, the way the water moves through there is just again, it's just incredible. Watching the massive big whirlpools open up, and this is a big boat. What is it? 50-odd foot boat, 6 meters wide, 20-something ton, and you hit some of that current, and it's literally just throwing the boat sideways here and there, and it's just absolutely unbelievable. The power of the water coming through there is just So, you talk about the guys losing their boat there. Like, how they even got found is a miracle in itself.
I remember going through it one time, and passengers were oblivious to it, but we had a bit of an issue going on. We couldn't get it over 1,500 revs, so we were making no way at all, and we're sitting in it, and we're going nowhere, and we're sitting in there for like half an hour, and Greg and I look at each other, we're like, we're going to get through this or not? We might have to abort mission here.
Because I can imagine turning around would be a nightmare.
Can't turn around.
Yeah, so
you just got to back off and let it take you back until you got control, and then you can manoeuvre out of it. But that was a butt puckering fucking event. Let me tell you.
Yeah,
I can imagine. Mate. It's so sparse out there. I mean, we only saw a handful of other boats over the whole trip.
Yeah.
And like we saw maybe one aircraft come out to look at us as we're passing the Air Force Base. So.
Border Force swooped down on us for a bit of a look. They were out there chasing Indos. The increase in illegal fishermen this year is just unreal.
Yeah.
They're everywhere. They're animals.
And you've seen them before, haven't you? Like actual Indonesian fishing boats?
So I've done a couple of trips out to the MOU, which is so there's a moratorium of understanding where the Indonesian fishermen can fish areas that they traditionally have using traditional methods.
Yeah.
So they got to be under sail, basically. They can't be under power, and they can't be diving with a fucking petrol powered hookah.
Yeah, can't be using a hooker setup.
But does that happen? No. They're just out there to get what they can. And you look at it from their perspective. If you're a 16-year-old kid in roadie and you're going to starve to death or go illegal fishing, what's your fucking choice?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, that's it.
So, but we've seen them plenty of times. I think last year on our trip up to Darwin to bring the boat here, we were on Lamarck Island, and they'd been there basically collecting all the trepang, the sea slugs off the reef. And then I was having a walk on the beach, and there are a whole bunch of footprints, bare feet, and then with reef boots on, so that he'd obviously come off the reef, and then he's walking along the beach. And I saw these stick shavings, and I eventually figured it out. They'd been sharpening the sticks like the Torres Strait Islanders and that do to poke down into the turtle nest to test if there's eggs there. Then they were digging up the eggs and taking the turtle eggs.
Which I assume they shouldn't be doing. They shouldn't even be there.
Yeah, they shouldn't even be there, let alone absolutely hammering the reef and the beach for turtles and trepang. And I sort of thought to myself, is this the local boys out here doing it? And then there was a cigarette on the ground, and sort of picked it up and had a bit of a smell, and it smelled like that cloves, like the ones they smoke in Bali.
Yeah.
So, obviously the Indos. So I think Border Force was cruising around there last year. They come and said g'day to us a couple of times, and have you seen anything suspicious? As a matter of fact, we have. So they ended up chasing them down.
Yeah, rightio.
So they sort of cut their way into the mangroves and will hide their boats in there. You can usually tell where they've been because they've left a whole bunch of rubbish there. Like, plastic pollution to them, they don't give 2/5. Cup water, cigarette packets, and noodle packets. That's basically what they live off, and they will just fucking throw it in the water, and it goes everywhere. You go to the Kimberley, you do not see rubbish. There's one thing you would have noticed: you do not see plastic. East Coast, like North Queensland, when you're going up to the Cape there, the wind pushes all the rubbish in from your Asian countries, and the beaches are just covered in it. The Kimberley, you won't see bugger all.
Yeah, I noticed that. The only rubbish that we found was on that beach where we looked at all the trepang and stuff as well. And we went up and looked at some of the rock art, and then we're pointing out to my hill, look at all the trepang here. Like, there's half a dozen trepang right on the edge of the water. And then we found a bloody one of them plastic cups. So anyone that's been to Bali or Thailand will know the plastic cups, and they got like a foil lid or a plastic lid, and they use a sharp straw to punch through it. So they're only like 150 mils or something like that. But we found some of them up on the beach there. So there'd obviously been people up there.
And we saw Border Force too. The Cape class cruiser was heading in towards Cunmunya with the ribs out front.
That's right.
I don't think they'd been in there before. The ribs must have been out checking the depth.
Yep.
So they must be around. They're coming over at the end of the season.
Yeah.
So when it slows down and you got not as many
less traffic,
commercial vessels out, less eyes on the water, they come down. They get the right winds for it then too.
Yeah. Obviously they're coming down on the like northwesterlies.
They're amazing navigators, though.
Oh,
You've got to give it to them.
Yeah.
Navigating by the stars at night.
Well, it's not that far, really, is it? Like, I mean, it would be
350 nautical.
Yeah,
roughly.
so it's
maybe a bit more, maybe 400 nautical.
We could have gone from Derby up into Indonesia a lot quicker than we could have gone from Derby to Darwin.
Yeah.
In about half the time.
Yeah.
Like it's really not that far. So when you think about it, for them, it's it's probably only a and well, like you say, they're supposed to sail, but a lot of them are under motor as well. So they'd cruise across there in 36 hours or something like that. Probably they're it's not really that far in the big picture. And actually, in actual fact, we stopped at where we looked at the I think it might have been the first place we looked at rock art and all the sharks come up at the back of the boat. We're patting the sharks as they're cruising in the back of the boat.
Tawny nurse sharks.
Yeah. Up in there, the other guys come across from the sailing vessel that was there. And
Sailing Carly?
Yeah, I think that was it. Yeah. They got a YouTube channel.
Because when he came over, just to interject a second, he goes, we said, oh yeah, we're doing a YouTube thing, and he says, oh yeah, we do a little bit of that. And then Ash searched for it, and it's like, 130,000 subscribers. And it's like, a little bit. Anyway, keep going.
So yeah, he came over and he'd been speaking to Snaggabarra.
Yeah, that's right.
So, and he's like, oh, yep, I've been speaking to Snaggabarra. He's expecting you guys, whatever. And then he's had a issue with his steering pump for his autopilot. And as I found him some O-rings and stuff, and give him a few tips on maybe being able to repair it. But
it's always the $2 part that fucks the show for you, doesn't it?
Oh no, that's I said.
And the one thing to lose autopilot and have to steer your way home. Oh, look at that.
He was.
That's a lot of effort.
Yeah, well, he was out for another 2 or 3 weeks, I think he said, before he's even going to be back into, because he's coming to Darwin as well.
Yep.
To get hauled out. But yeah, he was saying he'd been out wide at was it Scott Reef, and he'd been getting sailfish and big dogtooth tuna and stuff. But yeah, he made mention of the fact that he said just there was so many Indo boats out there though. He said just they were everywhere. Like he was on the border force, saying look, you guys got to get out of here. There's boats out here everywhere, and they're saying if they're under sail they're allowed to be. He goes, yeah, well. They might have sails, but at night time all you can hear is the big diesel cruising around. So yeah, but it's something you wouldn't like. I mean, I've known about it a little bit. My old man was in fisheries years and years ago, so I know a few stories of Asian fishermen and that coming down where they shouldn't be. But yeah, I had no idea it was to the extent of what it is. Obviously, off that Kimberley coastline there. The few people we talked to, like even talking to you guys when we said, what's the chance of seeing someone? You guys are like, probably 50%. Like, over the course of our trip from Derby back to Darwin, like, it's 50-50. Like that's how likely it is to actually see some of these illegal boats there.
You've got a picture. I would love for you to send it to me. Tell us the story about there's a boat moored out there.
All right, so...
Oh, the big one, like the big ship.
No.
No.
He knows what I'm talking
There's
about.
a couple of boats out at Ashmore Reef on moorings there.
Oh,
and providing I've got my facts correct.
Yeah.
So
this is a story. This might not be true, but tell it anyway.
So I believe they're out there. They're owned by us, the Australian government, and they're there to send the Indonesians home in. So I believe they used to have a big issue with the asylum seekers trying to make landfall, obviously, on Australian territory, which would be Ashmore Reef. So they used to come there, and obviously they're in unseaworthy vessels. So you've got some sort of a duty of care to send them home in something seaworthy. So I believe our government's got a few vessels over there that we've renovated to send them home in.
Yeah, wow.
So now they're going, geez, just slip over to Australia in your old heap of shit yacht. Go pick up one of these new ones.
Come drop us off, you piece of shit. We'll scuttle it and send you home in a flash new vessel.
Oh, bloody hell.
I don't know what the specifics are, whether they then take it back off them or whatnot. But yeah, one of them's an old lifeboat. Holds 50 people or whatever, and the other's like a proper old Indonesian timber ship that's been renoed. It's even got a nice paint job on it.
Yeah.
Oh, that's unbelievable, mate.
Yeah, well, we were out there doing ortho mosaics for CSIRO, so basically flying a drone over the islands to take high resolution images of the island. They then use an AI program to identify the nesting seabirds and obviously then calculate, how many there are, etc.
Yeah.
And
So when you say mosaics, they're like all these individual photos and they all get stitched
they
together.
get stitched together
Yeah.
into a high resolution map.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the AI counts the birds in the
Yeah,
photos.
supposedly.
Yeah.
Really cool stuff. So, and I was asking the ornithologist who'd been out there multiple times, like, what's fucking boats doing out here? And yeah, that's the story they get.
That's where you got the story from. There you go. So if it turns out not to be true, it was just a story he had, which he thought was true. I don't know. There's some people get really funny.
Allegedly, Australian government, allegedly.
It sounds legit though.
Yeah, it does. Sounds like something. It does sound like something we'd do.
Yeah.
Bloody hell. Typical governments, mate. Find the hardest way to solve a problem.
Yeah. So you met talking about birds there. So you do have it's surprising there's a few different points of interest that you had. Like I know you love your shells. Anytime we're on a beach somewhere, you're looking at shells, and anytime there's a bird, you point it out and they can go, oh, that's a double-breasted red-haired booby. Or like
just things you pick up over time.
Yeah.
You find little interests in different things. Especially, I mean, we've had so many amazing passengers over the years, and some are just here for a holiday, and others are here for their passions, their interests, or to do work. Great to learn from. So I've done a few trips with ornithologists. Great to learn from the birders, twitchers, tweakers, whatever you call them.
Yeah. I saw you. There was on one of the days you were you grabbed the book out and you spent 20 minutes looking for the exact. You knew what type of bird it was, but you didn't know exactly what one.
Yeah,
and
you get vagrants come through, birds that aren't meant to be there, and you're like, I know what that is, but I don't know what that is.
Yeah.
Where are you from?
Yeah, and then when you found it, you're like, gotcha. Like, you're all excited. I'm like, oh, okay, you're always full of surprises, Swannie.
Yeah, don't mind the old seashell as well. Thanks to me boss at the Builders in Derby, Archer. He got a love of seashells. A few friends of his around Broome and whatnot. So he sort of getting on in the years now, but sort of passed that love on to me and my mate Lockie, who'd take us out, shelling, having a look around.
Yeah.
So, huge big tides in Derby. So
it's the biggest tide in the southern hemisphere there, eh?
Yeah, huge tides. So you lose enough water sometimes that you get right down into that intertidal zone where you get some quite nice seashells living and go and pick them up, have a look.
What else we got? Yeah, well then we went from where we were last up in that bay that I liked with the waterfall at the back, which was
Glycosmus.
Glycosmus Bay.
I think that's how you pronounce it, God.
Yeah. Well, there's that many names and that many different places, mate. It's hard to keep track of them all, eh? But we
pretty much made our way around to Wyndham from there.
So we pulled up at the front of Wyndham. Well, what's the
Lynn?
The Lynn
in the Lynn River, but it's the what do they call it? The Cambridge Gulf.
Yeah, that's the one.
Cambridge Gulf. Yeah, mate. Again, the size of everything's unbelievable, but the size of that area there is just.
Yeah, well, when you look at the map
blowing.
compared to what it's like in reality, it's not what you expect. Like when you see it, it's like a big gulf, that opens up where you go in. And once we went in there, it's like, well, you can't even see the other side. Like it's enormous.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the scale of everything is just out of control. Even then, when we go up the little mouth of the river there, it's like, way over there, that's the other side. Like,
the river's huge.
And Wyndham's a fair way up there. It takes a good couple of hours to motor your way up to Wyndham.
Yeah, it was like 5 hours or something. I reckon it took us. Well, we were doing it at night time, so we were taking it pretty easy.
Yeah, we had a bit of tide running against us too, slowing us down. But she's a mission.
But yeah, it was that was pretty good waking up there in the morning and Snaggerbarra. We caught up with him again. He took us for a drive around. We went up the lookout.
Dropped us off some supplies.
Yeah.
You boys did pretty good at rationing.
Oh, bloody hell. Yeah, well, that was unreal, man. That lookout there at the top of that hill, like Snaggerbarra took us up there, mate.
Beautiful,
It
isn't it?
was unbelievable. Like, he said they do dawn service up there. That'd be unreal because it'd have to be a few thousand feet high, I suppose.
I don't know. Yeah.
That's
not what I was expecting. When he said, do you want to go check out this lookout? I'm like, oh, yeah. And I thought it was going to be like...
Tank Hill in Borroloola.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what I thought
there ain't
it would be
much
like.
to do in Wyndham, but that's the one thing that everyone does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, we did all the tourism stuff there with the big crocodile.
Big crocodile.
What else? There was another site, like an indigenous site sort of thing where they had these big statue things there.
Yeah.
We went and saw them.
Oh, you tried some Bibe nut.
Yeah, don't like it, eh?
No, a bit of an aftertaste. Not,
kind of tastes like chalk.
yeah, well, definitely the texture.
Look
yeah.
like chalk too.
Yeah.
And so Staggerberry broke one over and he said, "Here, Mike, you try it." And I waited for Mikey to try it. Then he said, "Yeah, you want to try it?" So I said, "No, I watched that bloody can dog just pissed on that one."
Eat the inside, don't lick the outside, Mikey.
Funny. No, I wasn't keen on that. But actually, that's another thing we've skipped over so many different things that we did. Even before we got on the boat, like you took us out to the art centre and that.
Oh, we went out to Mullet.
Yeah,
we went for a drive one afternoon out on the mud flats to Old Mullet, and
yeah, that was good fun too.
Yeah.
He got some really cool photos at sunset there out on the back of the thing. I think we touched on that briefly with Azza, but yeah, that was just unreal. Like, it's like Mike and I were talking about. We're saying this is exactly the sort of thing that we would do at home. Like, you know, if you come to King Expo, I'll jump in the toilet, we'll pack an esky and we'll go for a drive out the back here and watch the sunset bloody down on the flats or, you know, whatever. Like, it's exactly the sort of stuff we do at home. So, yeah, it was bloody really, really good fun. And then, into the pub and seeing the locals there trying to bloody sell the bibe nuts that they carve.
the carved ones,
but, mate, some of them carvings in them are unbelievable.
Some of
like,
them are absolutely spectacular.
Yeah, that was just... Yeah, looking at them at the art centre there. And, like, they're not even expensive or anything like that. You know, they're fairly modest in what they're asking for them, I think, for what
the skill and time that goes into it.
Yeah, they're incredibly detailed. And mine, like, what do they use to...
Usually a knife. A little pocket knife.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, some of the detail in them, some of the animals, like, some of them have the... What's the name carved into it? What's the painting that they all do there? Wandjina. Yeah, some of them had that, but then a lot of them had all the different animals and stuff. Like I looked at one had like a
lot of barramundi carved into them.
Yeah, one I picked up had a like a cockatoo or something carved into one side, and then it might have been a crocodile or something on the other side. But like they're all like anatomically like correct and perfect, and you know mate, I could spend 10 lifetimes trying to do that. There's no way in the world you'd ever...
I've seen a couple that have portraits carved in them, and, mate, they are next level. I think Norvs has a beautiful collection at his gallery there in Derby. Yeah, just really amazing artists, and you wonder what they could do with that.
Yeah, so these are the bibe nuts, so they're quite big. They can be, I suppose, bigger than like a
mango.
Yeah.
Oh, look, anywhere, you know, you can get them tiny all the way up to,
you
know,
but
like a sweet potato.
Yeah. But they're the seed that grows on the tree, is it? That's So, and then they obviously, I suppose that them ones they climb the tree and cut them down or something. I suppose, do they?
Yeah. Look.
I think the idea of the seed is they hit the ground and they break open and then they get...
Yeah, that's right. And on the tree, they're usually green. So you've got to let them dry first. And then they've got like a fuzz over them.
Mm-hmm.
Take that off and then you bring it back to the dark brown nut, and then that's when they'll carve in it. Look, sometimes you'll get them, they've fallen and they haven't cracked. But yeah, most of the time you've got to get them off the tree. Hopefully when they're dried. Otherwise, get them when they're green and let them dry. Sort of cool dark place will do it. Yeah,
that were bloody very cool to look at though. I'm just trying to think.
So while we're at Wyndham, so Ash and I went fishing with snaggerbarra. I think what I'll do when I upload these podcasts, I think I'll do it in chronological order. So last week, if you listen to last week's podcast, we had snaggerbarra on. So Ash and I went fishing with him. So you go and listen to that trip. But while we were fishing with him, how did you go? You went out fishing that day?
Yeah, not bad. I had Fiona with me that day. We took a bit of a different approach than you boys. You boys were live scoping, 360 sounding, fucking throwing everything in the tackle box at them.
We had shade. We had steak for lunch.
Cooked
on the it was
cold beer out of the fridge.
Yeah, he had a big angle on board. Yeah.
Fiona and I had a cast net and a hand line.
And still did pretty good.
Yeah. So we went live baiting for our barra. Found a nice snag with them stacked up in there, and I think we pulled 9 barra off that snag. Yeah. Trouble was getting mullet. The creek that the barra we were in it was hard work for the mullet, and we're only getting small ones. So we're having to piss off to another creek to get some nice big mullet, and then come back to that one.
Yeah.
And tell you what, they hooked some big fish with those big mullet. Yeah, we were having an absolute ball. So I didn't think it was really her style to be standing there flicking a lure all day. So she really enjoyed, being able to let the hand line out and let the fish run and pull it in.
Yeah.
That was good fun, mate.
You would love being in the creek. We were in the creek where Snagger had his one cast of the day and got one barra. In that creek there, like
100% success rate.
Yeah.
How good's that?
He's pretty good. But in there, if you wanted live bait, that would have been the place to throw the net.
Oh, yeah.
Holy crap. It was,
miles of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, we didn't really even travel too far, but having said that, we had to roll a little bit to get on the plane.
It was an ordeal getting on the plane with us big buffaloes in there. He's obviously got the boat set up for top end speed with just him in the boat, so he gets on the plane no problem.
He's got so much distance to cover.
Exactly, yeah. It was where he met us. That was in this boat. It took us 5 hours to get to his house.
It was about 80 k's away from his house.
Yeah, so if he's travelling at 40 k's now, he can be home in 2 hours. In good weather. Yeah, so
yeah, it's over twice the distance of what it is for us to go to the mouth at home.
Yeah.
So, and if you're against the tide there and you've got 8 meters of tide or 7 meters of tide or something, then it's even further again.
Yeah.
Another breakfast beer, fellas?
Yeah, go on then.
Oh, we'll see, eh?
Be criminal not to.
Got my chauffeur today.
Chauffeur. Yeah, so, I suppose, good thing to mention. If you watch the podcast all the time, you would have already seen the one with Snaggerbarra.
Yeah.
But if you don't watch him on YouTube, go and follow him on YouTube and look at some of the, have a look at some of the fish that he catches because it's unreal. Unreal.
Yeah, he attempts to catch a metery every time he goes out, and he has a very, very good success rate. Thanks, Brass.
Yeah, well, when I asked him how many meters he's caught, and he's like, "Oh, what this year?"
Yeah,
I'm like, "Yeah,
it was like 70 something."
Settle down, mate.
Yeah.
So he worked really hard. Like, he was an absolute legend. He didn't fish at all. He just watched the sounder and pretty much told us where to cast.
Yeah.
He's like, "Righto, cast over there. Nut slower, nut faster. Left a bit, right a bit."
Yeah, 1 meter, exactly where you cast there, but there's 1 meter left. Yep, that's the one. Oh yeah, you got to follow. It's like, oh, far out. So he was playing video games all day while we're casting.
Yeah, it was good fun though.
Yeah.
Got some good fish.
One of us did. It's just one of those days, I suppose, for me. Yeah, like Ash absolutely slammed it. Like he got 2 good barra and 2 monster dewies.
Yeah, on the the dewies blew my mind as well because he got a 95 and a 104 or something, like 94 and a 104 or something dewey off. Literally right, jigging straight up and down right beside a big tree branch. On that Jabbers one last mate that he full locked up, burnt the buggery out of my thumb. Yeah,
you poor thing. I caught half a fish for the day. Oh, did I get another one as well?
You got one as well.
I got one. Yeah, but no, that the one that Snagger he caught with his one cast because he was trying to get a lure from cast at a lure. And he hooks up to it. He's like, "Oh, Mikey, take this." I'm like, "I'm not taking your fish." And he's like, "No, I don't want the fish. Like, I want the lure." I'm like, "Oh, okay, I'll wind it in for you." So that was my half a fish. So yeah, I might have got 1.5 for the day. Yeah, anyway.
That was a good day, mate. Really, really good day out in the water. And just
I'm keen as to go back to Wyndham and go visit Snagger again.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, we'll do a drive.
Spend a
couple of days
nice week fishing around Wyndham.
Yeah.
Well, when we're there, we're looking at it. It's actually shorter to drive from Darwin to Wyndham than it is to drive from Darwin to King Ash Bay. Like it's 7 kilometres.
Sounds like you don't need much more convincing.
Yeah. Yeah. So we'll definitely, I think next year we'll catch up with Snagger when he's got some time and might plan a trip down there. Might see if we can get Carney down at the same time, mate.
Oh yeah. Well, they're pretty close. I think they speak to each other every week. Yeah. Yep. Yeah.
Good fun.
Yeah. So yeah, from Wyndham? Yeah, we already spoke about from Wyndham. We steamed all the way home pretty much. Just try to dodge some storms and all that. Yeah.
And then
I was getting proper over it after about 8 hours.
Yeah.
So
it was.
I was
rugged.
throwing the boat 30 degrees one way, 30 degrees the other. Could not pick it. The waves were just all over the place.
Yeah. Because that's that thing. Because this doesn't have autopilot, but it's got a heading thing where you can set it to head. Like
no, you can actually do a proper autopilot where it'll follow a track.
But still with the waves, like we're still zigzagging and whatever. Yeah,
just trying to find a good heading to punch through them. But yeah, she was a prick of a day. But then eventually, once it stopped white capping, then we put the hammer down and we come into port doing 16, 17 knots.
That was beautiful coming into Darwin Harbour. Like
can't right off. Massive big storm coming over. Was it Lee Point or whatever?
Yeah.
As we come in, but yeah, it was good, real good. Can't believe the amount of ships and stuff that are in the harbour when we come in.
Busy harbour.
Yeah, there's bloody shit going on everywhere.
Yeah, one's anchored out the front, one's coming and going, and
someone fishing in the middle of the channel.
Someone anchored up in the middle of the channel.
A big squall comes through, big ships everywhere.
Oh, what are they doing? Anyway.
Classic. That's Darwin.
Yeah.
And then big aircraft carrier on the...
Oh, that's right. You said it's an Australian one.
Yeah, it's the... it's the Canberra, HMAS Canberra.
Yeah, I didn't even know we had that one.
Yeah, I think it's a helicopter bloody ship or something.
Yeah, roger.
Yeah, but yeah, pretty cool. Pretty cool seeing that from the water. I've seen it before from the land, but I've never been that close to it where we come directly past it. Yeah, it's unreal. Yeah, so we jumped off the boat, mate. Bloody, after 15 days, Mikey went home.
What was the first thing you did when you get off the boat?
Oh, I gave my kids a hug.
They were pretty happy to see you.
They were, mate.
Very
Absolutely.
happy to see Dad.
Yeah.
I
gave them a little tour of the boat as well, which they were very happy about. They're like, "Can we go upstairs?" I'm like, "Go upstairs." Yeah, they loved it.
Well, we had Nando's.
As ordered takeaway from the closest takeaway you could find. we literally passed 3 Kentucky Fried Chickens on the way to the chicken shop at Casuarina.
Oh, perfect.
So it was all good. We went over to Casuarina and picked up dinner and dropped it back at the boat for the boys. And I came back in the next day, give you a bit of a run around town, mate. We went and got your ears lowered and
haircut and a massage.
Haircut and a massage.
Oil change.
Oil change. Oh, bloody hell. And then I came back, yesterday, I think. I took Ange to the airport. I come in the boat and you were on the floor just about
wounded. Seedier than a passion fruit, mate.
Big night.
Yeah. Well, we met up with there's another one of the charter boats is in port here, and
so people from back.
So ended up going out for a couple of drinks with Daniel and his Stewie there, and we sent it till about 5 a.m. in the morning. And Ash shows up, and I was in a world of hurt. There's some heavy construction going on in my temple.
About 10 o'clock in the morning, he's just absolutely wrecked.
But I got up, I washed down 2 Panadol with tequila, and we fucking got out of here. That's how we do it.
Oh, bloody hell. So what's the plans from here, mate? You've got another trip you're going to do. You got some mates of ours or something coming. You're going to go do a family trip.
Doing a family trip out to the Tiwi Islands.
Yeah, that'd be good fun,
We're going out chasing barra for a little bit.
Yeah.
I think some members of the Palmerston Game Fishing Club there coming out with us. We'll tow their boats out.
No, that'd be good fun, mate. That'd be unreal.
Back in Darwin for a couple of days, and then we'll shoot out to Flat Top Banks, weather permitting. Couple of twitchers again, twitchers, tweakers, whatever they call them, ornithologists.
Yeah.
So I think they're chasing Timorese shearwater.
Yeah.
So particular bird out there. So we'll be running a slick for it.
And
basically
what's the
chumming for the birds to come in. So it's
right.
And what's their goal? Like they just want to get a photo of it, just to tick off their list.
I believe so.
Wow.
I believe so. So no measuring or monitoring or
so it's not a scientific thing. This is just personal people that just they're birders and they want this bird off their list sort of thing. Yeah, wow.
So they
like
believe
collecting
that's a place where it'll come into. I think the Timorese shearwater is a vagrant, so it's not one that's usually in our waters.
Yeah.
So a bit of a hard one to tick off the list.
Yeah.
So they're willing to look at the lengths they're going to do it.
Yeah.
Bloody hell.
After that, a bit of work with Darwin Tugs and Lines or something. Go and have a yarn with them and shoot off back to Queensland.
Yeah, rightio. Spend Christmas there.
I mean, we got a whole explorer out of the water and do some work there, but wouldn't mind getting back home and seeing the family and whatnot.
Yeah. Yeah, unreal. Then start all again next year.
Start all again next year, come late April.
Yep.
Yeah.
Back into it again, mate.
Yeah, bloody oath. I think we got a pretty big season lined up. Some exciting stuff planned. Couple of cool trips, like the regular stuff. We'll be doing our charters through the Kimberley, but we're hoping to get out to Scott Reef and chase some big dogtooth tuna, and sailies and whatever else.
That'd be unreal out there, right?
I think it's going to be a bit of a mix of spearfishing and fishing.
Yep.
So I think I'll do a bit of safety diving for the boys. I used to do a lot of spearfishing growing up. So it might have even been how all this started. I just got hooked on it. Hey.
Yeah, well, speaking of sailfish as well, as I reckon he marked quite a few sailies on the wave on that last day on the sounder. Yeah. So
the billfish were showing up on our way in.
Bloody hell.
What else we got coming up next year? I believe, I think Channel 7's coming with this Creek to Coast.
Yep.
We're lucky enough to host those guys.
That'd be a good trip,
for an episode. Yeah. We'll
go do some fishing.
Show them what we showed you boys.
Yeah, cool.
See if they love it just as much.
Bit of a mix of stuff. Go and do
That's
a
the
bit
best
of
way.
Yeah.
Get like nothing wrong with doing the same old charters, but the variety keeps it interesting. And God, we've done some amazing trips. We've taken bushwalkers out who are looking for specific things. They're visiting old historical sites, and you're dropping them in one location and picking them up in another, and really interesting trips.
Unreal.
What do you reckon? We move on to song nominations, or do you
reckon.
Maybe just one quick thing. So this is the Kimberley Explorer. It's One Tide Charters is the business. So if you've seen the last few podcasts and absolutely loved what we've been doing, just get in contact with One Tide Charters. Probably just jump on their website or their Facebook page or Instagram, anything like that. There's 100 ways you can get in contact with them. So you'll, if you message One Tide Charters, you'll probably get either Azza or Mum, or Ange. They'll reply to you and find out more about doing a trip of a lifetime like we did. So.
And I think, because the boat's it's based in Derby during the dry season, but then the wet season, the plan, I think, is to have it here as well. So it could be, even if it's not a Kimberley trip and somebody wanted to do something up here.
Safer place for the boat. During the wet season, Derby, the facilities there are not great.
She's pretty rugged out there.
She's pretty rugged.
But even if like a group of fellas wanted to do a fishing trip somewhere or something like that, during the wet season, the boat's here. That's the sort of thing you can do, any sort of private charters, I suppose.
Yeah.
So, if you got anything in mind, hit Azza and Adam up and Ange up and
throw us an idea. It doesn't matter how crazy it is. We'll we're just as crazy as you are. We'll see what we can make happen. Might be an idea for next year, Mikey. Get chop it in somewhere. We'll pick you up, and then we'll
that's right up his alley.
We'll offload you to Snagger or something.
Yeah.
When we get to Wyndham, stay there for a week of fishing.
Yeah, there's now that we've done that trip once, like I know there's a lot of different options there.
Time to get creative.
There's all different pearl farms and there's mine sites and stuff like that. I'm sure that we could start the trip somewhere and finish it somewhere else. Because for me personally, the 15 days was. I struggled a bit towards the end, just being away from my family, because I had already just been on a 2-week trip to King Ash Bay. I got home for 2 days, then I was straight here. So, for the month of October, I saw my family for 2 days. So by the end of the trip, I was definitely getting a bit homesick. So, I'm a bit of a princess. I'd go a little bit shorter next time.
Well, bloody we'll have to see what time he's go back down, because we might even try and line up a snagger trip or something like that when the boat's going back down. If we drove across and bring your boat down to Wyndham or something like that, might be able to catch up with you for a night on the water down.
If he's pulled into. Even if to stay for a night or two. Yep. That could work. Anyway,
all good.
All right, let's go to song nominations. So we've got a Golf Mudcrabbers playlist on Spotify. So if you just go search Golf Mudcrabbers, or in all the descriptions and everything, I'll put a link to it. We've got, I think, over 1,000 people that follow this playlist now, which is pretty cool. And we add songs to it each week on the podcast. And I'll go first. A bit of a homecoming song. I'm going to nominate Country Roads, Take Me Home, John Denver.
He was singing it for the last 13 hours on the boat.
It's a good, and I think the song fits the playlist perfect as well. And it's a bit of a travesty that it wasn't already on there. So it's a nice homecoming song. So it's good to be home. Amazing trip, but good to be home. What do you got, Bruce?
I got Stephen Wilson Jr. with Hardy, and it's called Father's Son, this acoustic version. It's only just come out, but yeah, been cranking it lately. It's a pretty good one though.
I got an artist I grew up on, so parents were pretty into music. I got good taste in music from them, I like to think. Rodriguez, Crucify Your Mind.
Rodriguez, Crucify Your Mind.
Yeah, I don't know it. Oh, is it one of those songs I'll probably know if I hear it?
Potentially.
We'll have a look after.
You might know another song from Rodriguez. He wasn't a super well known artist, but it'd be the how would I describe him?
Did he do?
He'd be as good as Bob Dylan, but no one knows about him.
He did Sugar Man.
Yeah, he did. Sugar Man.
That's that. Yeah.
Yeah, right. Yeah, we'll have a look.
Roger.
Yeah, cool. Well, thanks for it. So yeah, we've been back a few days. Thanks for coming on, even though the sort of trip's over and we've sort of lined this up. Ash is driving back. Well, he was going to drive back this morning back home, but it stayed an extra day so we could do this. So
yeah,
thanks for doing it, mate.
We're doing the hard yards towards the end of the trip there. We didn't really have a nice place to anchor up and set everything up for a podcast. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's what I thought when I came, because I came down yesterday and collected half the rest of the gear. And I was like, sitting, kicking back yesterday afternoon. I was thinking, geez, if I stayed another day, if you're not doing anything, we should just bloody try and catch up, because it'd be good to have a chat now that we're back in Darwin. You've had had an oil change and bloody been out a couple of nights and bloody all the rest of it. So we'll kick back and have a quiet one morning. So and it's nice in here, mate. Got the aircon cranking. At where are we at? Tipperary Waters, eh?
Tipperary Waters.
Yeah. On the
place. Got the yacht club just around the corner.
Yeah,
it's walking distance. Dangerously close.
Yeah, right. Is this it? Like this area here? It just sort of finishes just there. So it's only a really small place.
Just the other side of there's the lock that you come in on. So I think they can fit boats up to about 6 meters in bloody beam.
Yeah, okay.
So nothing massive, but yeah. So I liken it to a caravan park on water, mate.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it's like.
Yeah.
You had old mate round there, instead of mowing, he's got his scoop and he's scooping up the leaves and stuff out of
the
the
little boy floating around in his dinghy, picking up the leaves. And one of the blokes got a bit excited this morning, Sunday morning, decided to fire up his grinder at bloody 8 a.m.
Oh, no.
That was a bit early, eh?
Yeah, a bit early for me anyway. I think I'd only come in a couple of hours before that.
My niece is on the bloody quad bike this morning flying around the house, so I was up pretty early.
Oh, thanks, fellas.
No, thank you,
I
mate.
appreciate your company. It's been absolutely fantastic getting to know you.
Yeah, mate. Yeah, can't wait to do it again. And like we said, mate, anytime you're cruising around the top end, mate, always pull into King Ash Bay. There's always a bed there for you, mate. We'll take you out to show you some of our country.
Hell yeah, that'd be awesome.
It was an unreal couple of weeks, mate, on the boat. So thanks very much for your hospitality.
We've welcome.
Thoroughly enjoyed it, mate. And can't wait to do it again sometime.
Awesome. Let's shut it down, eh?
Shut it down, Bruss.
Oh, don't leave him hanging. Cheers, man.
Fucking legends.
Oh, look at that. Oh, beauty.
Guys in the Gulf.